I'll do my best here. Like it's this Derek Chauvin piece of shit, right? This cop, right, who killed George Floyd. It's not like he didn't know. It's not like he was like, oh, I shouldn't have had my knee on the guy's fucking neck while he's crying to his mother for almost 9 minutes. Oh, I should take a course. Like there's always gonna be motherfuckers, right? So I guess it's an interesting issue because there's so many sort of socioeconomic factors at play, so many political factors at play, but at the end of the day, some humans are pieces of shit, right? So how do you sort of stop those pieces of shit from having the power to kill innocent people?
I would agree. And on top of that, you could be a good police officer. You could be somebody who's moral and understands the law. But if your president orders you to break up a peaceful protest with, tear gas and rubber bullets so that your president can hold up a flipping Bible in front of a church, there's not much you can do other than quit.
The interesting thing about this, like when you talk about bad people, well, there'll always be, people that are a piece of shit. Yeah, but if you're talking about policing the streets, where the maximum amount of harm that those people, I've been in prison. Maybe the most body counts that I'd run up that an individual had committed was like two or three. Most of the people that are killing people out on the street kill two or three. And this is a rhetorical question because it's age old. What are you suggesting we do to those in the upper echelons of society who are responsible for the death of millions? What kind of policing system are you describing? And I can't hold to the conversation that you're projecting, that you're putting out there, if we're also not looking at, okay, how do we prevent the millions and millions of deaths that pieces of shit at the top are allowed to commit, right? And as far as doing away with the police, it's not possible in our system. We can't, but it's the system. And I'm not sure, there's always a force, like, there are arguments going on in neighborhoods, and this is where I would prefer to listen to the people from those neighborhoods talking about their police, rather than us who have never come close to those neighborhoods. But what I've heard from people on the ground is that those police officers in North America are what you are describing when you're talking about places around the world, right, where life can be a living hell.
Before we close out this issue, the thing I wanted to add to what you're saying, Louis, because it's very true. First off, the police, the issues with police and communities is different all over America. Even within states, it's very different. And there are, some great police chiefs out there. There are horrible police chiefs out there. There's some really good police officers. There are bad police officers. There was a really good last week tonight with John Oliver talking about police, and this was done like many years ago, or a while ago, where he talked about there's also the issue of police officers who do something bad in one community and then they just resign and move to another community.
Yeah.
Right.
So they'll abuse people. They'll do
that is
whatever.
happening right now. Apparently, I haven't done any sort of deep dive on this, but I was just skimming through headlines. And apparently, Florida, someplace in Florida, the dumping ground of everything, have taken up the mantle. Again, this is uncorroborated. But the Buffalo police officers that decided to quit in protest for knocking down that 75-year-old guy trying to return a helmet, who got a nice Antifa shout out from the president, by the way. Florida is taking anyone who got fired or quit because they, seriously injured a geriatric.
And they have a lot of
got out.
Hispanics.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, that's a problem. Ultimately, though, and I think this is where both Lewis and I absolutely agree. There needs to be much more accountability, like just bottom line. And some of it, it's not even money. Some of it is making sure police officers can't move from one jurisdiction to another, making sure that acts of violence are recorded. In the John Oliver piece, someone said, look, we know more information about how many people walk into an emergency room with a broken arm than we do about whether a police officer has discharged their weapon. Like there are official records in hospitals or whatever that, that are way more accurate than, with the behavior of police. And so
Can I ask a question?
Can I,
Sure.
I just want to say though that, Andrew, let's never do this agreeing thing again.
Oh God,
Like
please.
I
don't know how that
It
happened.
really hurt me.
I
I want to